The crystalline ship drifted gracefully through space, its translucent hull catching starlight and scattering it in prismatic patterns across the void. Inside, Ambassador Lara pressed her delicate fingers against the viewing panel, her own translucent skin pulsing with waves of blue light that betrayed her anxiety. Earth's massive space station loomed ahead, its industrial design a stark contrast to the organic architecture of her vessel. Approaching United Earth Defense Station horizon, the ship's navigation system chimed softly. External scans indicate 23 human vessels in proximity. Lara watched as a small escort ship approached. Her species had spent decades studying humanity from afar, fascinated by their rapid advancement and their unusual tendency to protect smaller nations and species during their own rise to power. The Viril needed such allies now more than ever. The communication panel illuminated with a soft chime. Viril vessel, this is Station Horizon Control. Please proceed to Docking Bay 7. We've adjusted our artificial gravity and atmosphere to match your specifications. The ambassador felt a surge of hope. Such thoughtful preparations were uncommon among the traditional galactic powers, who often demanded that lesser species adapt to their standards. Perhaps the reports about human adaptability and consideration were accurate. As her ship glided into the docking bay, Lara observed the human workers through the transparent hull. They moved with purpose, their environmental suits decorated with patches and symbols she had learned represented different Earth nations. Unity through diversity, another fascinating human trait. The docking procedure completed with gentle precision. Lara gathered her ceremonial robes, the fabric shimmering with embedded memory crystals containing thousands of years of Viril history. This meeting had to succeed. Her people could not endure another decade of raids and dismissal from the galactic community. The airlock cycled, and Lara stepped onto the station. A small delegation of humans waited, led by a tall woman whose uniform indicated high diplomatic rank. The ambassador noted with appreciation that they maintained a respectful distance, aware of the Viril's sensitivity to sudden movements. Ambassador Lara. The diplomat stepped forward slowly, offering a careful bow rather than attempting physical contact. I'm Director Chen of the United Earth Council. Welcome to Horizon Station. Lara's skin rippled with patterns of grateful acknowledgement. Director Chen, I bring greetings from the Viril Collective. We thank you for receiving us despite our lack of formal recognition in the galactic community. The human delegation guided her toward a conference room designed to accommodate her species' needs. The lighting was adjusted to optimal levels for Viril communication, and the temperature matched that of her homeworld. Such attention to detail spoke volumes about humanity's diplomatic capabilities. We've reviewed your initial transmission, Director Chen began once they were seated. You mentioned seeking those who understand rising from nothing. Would you elaborate? Lara's skin began to glow, projecting subtle patterns that the human translators had been prepared to interpret. Humanity entered the galactic stage less than 30 years ago. In that time, you've established yourselves as a significant power, not through conquest, but through innovation and alliance building. The Viril. She paused, her patterns shifting to deeper blues. We have existed for millennia, yet remain powerless. Our greatest achievements, our art, our historical records, our cultural preservation technologies, are dismissed as worthless by the dominant species. Director Chen leaned forward, her expression thoughtful. Yet these achievements have preserved knowledge that spans longer than some species have existed. We've seen the preliminary data you shared. Your people have recorded events that predate humanity's first civilizations. Knowledge without power to protect it becomes merely a record of loss. Lara responded, her patterns shifting to reveal flashes of past attacks on Viril archives. We seek not to become warriors, Director Chen. We seek those who understand that strength can take many forms, and that preservation of knowledge is as vital as the ability to defend it. The human diplomat's eyes showed recognition. Earth's own history was marked by the tragic loss of ancient knowledge, of libraries burned and cultures erased. Perhaps here, Finally, the Viril had found someone who understood the true value of their capabilities. The meeting continued as stars wheeled slowly past the station's windows, marking the beginning of an alliance that would reshape galactic politics in ways neither species yet imagined. The observation deck of Station Horizon hummed with quiet excitement as humans and Viril gathered for the first official cultural exchange. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing the delicate spires of the Viril homeworld alongside Earth's varied cityscapes. Scientists and diplomats from both species mingled carefully, each learning to navigate the other's social protocols. Dr. Sarah Chen, the station's chief xenobiologist, watched in fascination as her Viril counterpart, researcher Ulmira, demonstrated their species' unique method of memory sharing. Ulmira's skin illuminated with complex patterns, transforming her entire body into a living display of historical data. The process requires no external technology, Ulmira explained, her translator converting the light patterns into speech. Each Viril carries within them a portion of our collective memory, passed down through generations. The human scientists present leaned forward as Ulmira's skin projected a three-dimensional image of ancient starships, their designs unlike anything recorded in human databases. This is from our first contact with spacefaring civilization, over 12,000 years ago. The clarity is remarkable, Sarah noted, adjusting her instruments. How do you prevent data degradation over such long periods? Ulmira's patterns shifted to show the intricate cellular structure of Viril skin. Our biology evolved specifically for information preservation. Each memory is encoded multiple times across millions of cells, allowing for perfect redundancy. Across the room, engineering teams from both species huddled around a prototype sensor array. The Viril's crystalline technology had proven surprisingly compatible with human computing systems, creating possibilities that excited both sides. Your quantum processing capabilities are extraordinary, Lieutenant James Rodriguez commented, examining the delicate crystal lattice. Combined with our encryption protocols, we could revolutionize deep space communication. His Viril colleague, Engineer Tissol, pulsed with patterns of agreement. Already, the integration of human binary systems with our crystalline matrices has improved efficiency by 300%. Together, we build something entirely new. The station's diplomatic section buzzed with equal activity. Ambassador Tilera met with Earth's Defense Council, sharing detailed records of recent raids on Viril archives. The humans watched with growing concern as the patterns showed sophisticated attack patterns. They're not just raiders, General Martinez observed, studying the tactical display. These are coordinated strikes targeting specific knowledge repositories. Someone fears what your people remember. Hilara's skin flickered with confirmation. We preserve what others wish forgotten. Treaties broken, promises betrayed, ancient crimes hidden by time. All exist within our collective memory. The general's expression hardened. Knowledge is power, Ambassador. Your people aren't powerless. You're just wielding a different kind of strength. In the station's cultural center, the first human Viril art installation took shape. Viril light sculptors worked alongside human musicians, creating a synchronized performance of sound and illumination. The resulting display drew gasps of wonder from observers of both species. It's like watching the birth of stars, whispered a human artist, as patterns of light danced in harmony with Earth classical music. The Viril artist's skin pulsed with joy. Your music adds depth we never imagined possible. Each new combination creates memories worth preserving. As the day progressed, Station Horizon's central computer compiled and analyzed the wealth of shared information. The Viril's perfect recall of historical events filled gaps in human understanding of galactic politics, while human tactical and defensive knowledge offered new hope for protecting Viril archives. In the station's command center, Director Chen reviewed the day's progress with her staff. The Viril aren't just allies, she concluded. They're librarians of the galaxy, preserving knowledge that could reshape our understanding of everything. And we're their security guards, her tactical officer added with a slight smile. More than that, Chen corrected. We're partners. Their knowledge and our strength, combined, create something neither species could achieve alone. As the Earth Day cycle drew to a close, humans and Viril gathered in the observation lounge. Together, they watched the slow dance of stars, each species seeing the galaxy through new eyes. The Viril's skin patterns merged with the starlight, creating an impromptu display of ancient stellar maps that left their human hosts speechless with wonder. Operation Lighthouse had begun, and with it, the galaxy's balance of power shifted in ways the dominant species had never anticipated. The Viril homeworld of Lumeria sparkled like a jewel in space, its crystalline cities refracting sunlight in dazzling patterns. The arrival of Earth's defensive fleet cast new shadows across the pristine landscape, their metallic hulls a stark contrast to the organic architecture below. Commander Elena Torres stood at the viewport of her flagship, studying the planet's unusual defensive grid. Their entire system is built around early warning rather than active defense, she noted to her Viril advisor. Telephone beautiful sensor arrays, but not a single weapons platform. Stilled skin rippled with patterns of acknowledgement. We believe that advanced civilization meant moving beyond conflict. Recent events have shown us the flaw in that thinking. A holographic display between them showed the proposed defense network, a revolutionary blend of Viril sensor technology and human military innovation. Phase 1 was already underway, with human engineers working alongside Viril technicians to upgrade the orbital monitoring stations. Your sensors can detect ship movements from unprecedented distances, Elena observed, watching the real-time data flow. Combined with our predictive combat algorithms, we're creating something entirely new. In Lumeria's capital city, human military advisors conducted their first training session with Viril volunteers. The challenge lay not in their willingness to learn, but in adapting human defensive techniques to their unique physiology. Focus on your natural advantages, Lieutenant Sarah Chen instructed, demonstrating a modified defensive stance. Your ability to process visual information is superior to most species. Use that for anticipation and evasion. The Viril students mimicked her movements, their skin patterns shifting with concentration. One of them, Krill, showed particular aptitude. We're learning to translate our memory-sharing abilities into tactical awareness, he noted, his patterns displaying complex battle scenarios. Aboard the station's engineering deck, human and Viril scientists made another breakthrough. The crystalline structure of their ships, Dr. Williams explained to the project leaders. It's not just aesthetic. It's a natural stealth system. The demonstration showed how Viril vessels could redirect sensor scans, becoming nearly invisible to conventional detection methods. Combined with human cloaking technology, it created possibilities that excited both species' military strategists. Ambassador T. Larid observed these developments from her office in the floating crystal spire. Her skin displayed complex emotions as she watched her people transform. We preserve knowledge of countless civilizations, she remarked to Director Chen. Many fell because they couldn't adapt. We must learn from their memories. The planetary defense grid expanded daily. Human destroyers patrolled alongside newly commissioned Viril sensor ships, their crews learning to work in seamless coordination. The first joint emergency response drill demonstrated the potential of their partnership. Simulated hostile contact, bearing 347, the human tactical officer announced. The Viril sensor operator's skin flashed with detailed threat analysis before the computer could process it. Multiple signatures detected. Behavioral patterns matched known raider tactics. Commander Torres watched with satisfaction as human and Viril ships executed a flawless defensive pattern. They learned quickly, she noted to her second-in-command. Their natural gift for pattern recognition makes them excellent strategists. In orbit, construction began on the first hybrid defense platform. Its crystalline sensor arrays housed human-designed weapon systems, controlled by joint crews. The project represented more than military cooperation. It symbolized the transformation of both species. "We're not teaching them to abandon their principles," Director Chen explained to Earth's Defense Council. "We're showing them how to protect those principles." There's a crucial difference. The Varil Council of Memory Keepers, their highest governing body, convened to review the changes. Their chamber walls pulsed with the stored memories of countless generations, now joined by new patterns of human defensive knowledge. "Our ancestors believed preservation required absolute peace," the chief memory keeper observed. "But preservation without protection ensures only the survival of memories, not the culture that created them." As night fell on Lumeria, the combined fleet stood guard over the crystalline cities. Human crews marveled at the bioluminescent patterns that rippled through Varil architecture, while Varil observers studied the disciplined precision of human patrol formations. Together, they had begun to forge a new path, one that honored the Varil's commitment to preservation, while embracing humanity's determination to protect what they valued. The galaxy watched, and some began to worry about what this partnership might mean for the established order. Inside the newly constructed Joint Defense Laboratory, human quantum computers hummed in harmony with Varil crystal matrices. The integration team, led by Dr. Maya Rodriguez, monitored the first full-scale test of their combined systems. "Neural pathway established," announced the Varil technician, Rilen, his skin pulsing with streams of diagnostic data. "Crystal resonance at optimal frequency." Maya studied the holographic display as information flowed between the two technologies at unprecedented speeds. "The crystal matrices aren't just conducting our data," she observed. "They're enhancing it, adding layers of processing we never thought possible." The breakthrough had immediate applications. Across Lumeria's defense grid, sensor stations received significant upgrades. Human targeting systems, once limited by processing speed, now operated with near instantaneous precision thanks to Varil crystalline technology. In orbit, the first joint patrol vessel prepared for its maiden voyage. The ship's sleek hull incorporated both species' design philosophies. Human durability merged with Varil sensor efficiency. Captain James Chen stood on the bridge, watching his mixed crew settle into their stations. "Navigation systems online," reported Lieutenant Sarah, her skin patterns reflecting the ship's status in real time. Crystal core stabilized and synchronized with human propulsion systems. The ship, christened Horizon Seeker, glided out of space dock with unprecedented grace for a vessel of its size. Its revolutionary sensor array, combining Varil crystal technology with human scanning systems, could detect spatial anomalies that neither species' ships could previously identify. "Multiple contacts at extreme range," Sura announced during their first patrol. Her patterns shifted to display tactical data faster than any conventional screen could render it. "Analysis suggests merchant vessels, but their power signatures are masked." Captain Chen nodded, watching the tactical display. "Smugglers, most likely. They've never encountered anything that could detect them at this range." "Signal the patrol group. Standard intercept pattern." The effectiveness of the joint patrols did not go unnoticed. In the galactic trading hubs, whispers spread about ships that appeared from nowhere, guided by impossible sensor readings. Some species began routing their trade ships away from Varil space, especially those with reason to avoid scrutiny. Back on Lumeria, the integration of technologies continued to yield surprising results. A team of Varil archivists discovered that their memory crystals could interface directly with human quantum storage systems, creating a hybrid database of unprecedented scope and accessibility. "We've successfully transferred the complete historical records of 3 star systems," Senior Archivist Tamol reported to the Joint Council. Her patterns displayed snippets of the preserved data, trade agreements, diplomatic incidents, and astronomical observations spanning centuries. Director Chen leaned forward, intrigued. "And our compression algorithms are compatible with your storage methods." "More than compatible." Tamol's patterns brightened with excitement. "The human quantum matrices actually enhance our storage capacity. We can now preserve more detail than ever before." The military implications were equally significant. Commander Torres supervised the installation of the first hybrid defense platform, watching as Viril crystals interfaced with human weapon systems. The targeting efficiency has improved by 300%, her chief weapons officer reported. The crystal matrices process targeting data faster than our best computers, and with perfect accuracy. The platform's first test demonstrated its capabilities. A drone simulating a raider vessel attempted to slip through the defense grid using advanced stealth technology. The hybrid system detected, tracked, and simulated neutralization of the target before conventional sensors would have noticed its presence. In the diplomatic sphere, other species began to take notice. Representatives from the Galactic Council requested information about the new technologies, particularly the enhanced sensor capabilities. Their interest carried an edge of concern. "They're worried," Ambassador Tyranny observed to Director Chen, her patterns showing amusement. "For millennia, they dismissed us as harmless archivists. Now they realize that knowledge and capability can combine in unexpected ways." As the day cycle ended, the Horizon Seeker returned from its patrol. Its hybrid crew had functioned flawlessly, each species complementing the other's strengths. Captain Chen submitted his report to both Earth Command and the Viril Council. "We're not just sharing technology," he wrote. "We're creating something entirely new. The whole has become greater than the sum of its parts." The galaxy watched and waited as the partnership between the powerless archivists and their human allies continued to reshape the balance of power, one innovation at a time. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched upward in sweeping arcs of precious metals and rare stones, designed to intimidate lesser species with its grandeur. Today, however, the chamber held an unusual gathering. Ambassador Tyranny stood before the council, her skin displaying patterns of calm determination, while Director Chen represented Earth's interests at her side. "The Viril petition for membership has been received," announced High Counselor Xerex, his scaled face betraying no emotion. "However, your species has previously failed to meet our criteria for advanced civilization status." Tyranny's patterns shifted subtly, and the chamber's lighting dimmed. Suddenly, holographic projections sprang to life, created by the interaction between her skin's natural luminescence and carefully placed Viril crystals. "Honorable Council," her patterns formed words as she spoke, "we present our case through memory." The chamber filled with images from thousands of years of council sessions, perfectly preserved in Viril archives. The council members stirred uncomfortably as they recognized their predecessors, their own species representatives from centuries past. Tyranny's display showed decision after decision, promise after promise, painting a clear picture of systematic exclusion. Director Chen stepped forward. "The Viril have maintained perfect records of every council session for over a millennium. Their role as galactic historians alone qualifies them for membership under Article 7 of the Charter." High Counselor Xerex's assistant frantically searched through records, confirming the cited article. The council chamber buzzed with whispered conversations as older treaties and agreements, long thought forgotten, came to light through Viril memory crystals. Furthermore, Tyranny continued, her patterns now showing the recent technological achievements of the human-Viril partnership. "We have exceeded the defensive and technological requirements for membership." The demonstration shifted to display the capabilities of their joint patrol ships, the revolutionary sensor networks, and the successful integration of crystal computing with human quantum systems. Each achievement challenged the Council's predetermined notions of Viril capabilities. "This is unprecedented," declared Counselor Benthix, their ethereal form shifting with concern. "The combining of technologies between species was not considered in our membership criteria." Director Chen responded diplomatically, "Innovation often occurs outside established parameters." The Viril's ability to adapt and advance through cooperation demonstrates exactly the kind of civilization the Council claims to value. In the public gallery, representatives from other marginalized species watched with intense interest. The Viril's presentation had implications beyond their own membership bid. It suggested possibilities for advancement that didn't require military might or aggressive expansion. Tulara's final display filled the chamber with a comprehensive record of recent council decisions, particularly those involving emerging species. Our archives serve not to judge, but to remember. However, memory without action becomes merely a witness to repetition. The council called for a recess, their comfortable assumptions shaken by the weight of their own recorded history. In the antechamber, Director Chen observed the various species representatives engaging in hurried discussions. They never expected their past decisions to be preserved so perfectly. She noted to Tulara, "Your people's greatest strength isn't just in keeping records, but in knowing when to reveal them." Tulara's patterns showed subtle amusement. Humans taught us that knowledge unused is power untapped. Today, we apply that lesson. When the council reconvened, their demeanor had shifted. High Counselor Zarex spoke with careful precision. The council acknowledges the virile contribution to galactic civilization. Your petition for membership will be given full consideration. But Tulara had one final display prepared. Her patterns shifted to show the original founding of the Galactic Council, preserved in virile memory through direct observation. "We were there at the beginning," she revealed. "We remember the original purpose of this council, to unite and elevate all species." The chamber fell silent as ancient ideals, long forgotten beneath centuries of politics, were brought back to light. The galaxy's balance of power wasn't shifting through force or threat, but through the simple power of remembered truth. As the session concluded, Director Chen smiled slightly. The virile had proved that the pen, or in this case, the memory crystal, truly was mightier than the sword. The grand opening of the first human virile cultural center in New Singapore drew crowds from both species. The building itself represented their partnership, traditional virile crystal architecture reinforced with human engineering principles, creating a structure both beautiful and resilient. Inside the main hall, Dr. Sarah Chen led a group of human students through their first lesson in virile memory sharing techniques. The children sat in a semicircle, watching in wonder as their virile instructor, Sarah, demonstrated the basic patterns of light communication. Each pattern is a word, a feeling, a memory, Sarah explained, her skin showing simple rhythmic pulses. Today, we'll learn the patterns for greeting and friendship. The students practiced with special light-emitting panels designed to mimic virile communication. A young girl named Maya successfully created her first pattern, drawing appreciative flickers from Sarah. The human capacity for pattern recognition is remarkable, Sarah noted to Sarah. They adapt to our communication methods far more quickly than any other species we've encountered. In another wing of the center, virile architects studied human defensive design principles. The instructor, Major James Rodriguez, explained how subtle structural elements could enhance security without compromising aesthetic beauty. Your crystalline buildings are naturally resistant to energy weapons, he pointed out, displaying holographic models. By incorporating these support patterns, we can maintain their beauty while adding protection against kinetic impacts. The virile students absorbed the information eagerly, their skin patterns replicating the structural designs for future reference. One of them, T'Pel, had already begun incorporating human-inspired defensive elements into traditional virile architecture. The center's performance hall hosted the premiere of a revolutionary art form. Human musicians played alongside virile light sculptors, creating a symphony of sound and illumination. The music triggered responsive patterns in the crystal walls, while virile artists interpreted the human emotions in cascading waves of light. "It's like watching emotions take physical form," whispered one human observer as a powerful crescendo sent ripples of color throughout the chamber. The virile performers' patterns showed deep satisfaction. "Your music adds dimensions to our art we never imagined possible." Each performance becomes a new memory worth preserving. In the education wing, the first joint classes began. Human students learned the intricate history of the galaxy through virile memory crystals, while virile youth studied human adaptability and innovation techniques. Understanding each other's perspectives changes everything, Professor Chen explained to the board of directors. The virile teach us the value of preserving knowledge, while we show them how to use that knowledge actively. The Cultural Center's research department made an unexpected breakthrough. A team of human quantum physicists and Viril memory keepers discovered that human brainwave patterns could interface with Viril crystals through specialized interfaces. The implications are extraordinary, Dr. Williams reported excitedly. We might eventually be able to preserve human memories with the same clarity as Viril records. As evening approached, the center's observatory level filled with visitors from both species. The transparent crystal dome offered perfect views of the stars, while Viril historians shared ancient astronomical observations through pattern displays. These stars looked different 1,000 years ago, explained senior historian Tamal, projecting ancient star charts through his skin patterns. Your human astronomers helped us understand why. The movement of our galaxy through space. The day concluded with a ceremony that nobody had planned but everyone understood. Human and Viril representatives gathered in the central chamber, where the crystalline walls pulsed with soft light. Director Chen stood beside Ambassador Tulara, watching their people mingle freely. "We're not just sharing knowledge anymore," she observed. "We're creating a new culture together." Tulara's patterns showed agreement and hope. The galaxy feared we would teach humans to preserve their warrior knowledge. Instead, you taught us how to protect our peaceful wisdom, and we taught you how to remember your gentler dreams. As night fell, the cultural center glowed like a beacon, its light carrying a message to the stars. Two species, once thought incompatible, had found strength in their differences and wisdom in their cooperation. The Horizon Seeker's sensor arrays pulsed with urgent warnings as Officer Kisura processed the incoming data. Her skin patterns shifted rapidly from blue to amber, reflecting the gravity of her discovery. "Captain Chen," she called out, her patterns projecting tactical data directly into the ship's holographic display. Multiple fleet signatures detected across 7 sectors. Their movement patterns suggest coordinated action. The captain studied the complex web of ship movements displayed before him. Years of joint human-Viril operations had taught him to read both the official sensor data and Kisira's subtle pattern warnings. "These aren't independent groups," he concluded, marking key intersection points in the display. "They're staging for something big. Signal command and have all patrol ships transmit their sensor data to central analysis." At Lumeria's Joint Defense Command, the combined sensor network painted a troubling picture. Commander Elena Torres watched as the tactical display filled with movement indicators, each representing a hostile fleet moving with suspicious precision. 4 major species groups, reported her Viril tactical officer, Terrell. The Karg Dominion, Suveri clans, Nexus Collective, and, his patterns showed surprise, the Mercantine Trade Federation. They've never cooperated before. Elena's expression hardened. Fear makes strange allies. Show me their projected convergence points. The display shifted, revealing carefully plotted courses that would bring all 4 fleets into striking distance of key Viril human installations within the same 12-hour window. In the Viril archives, historians worked frantically to search their vast records for similar tactical patterns. Their crystalline memory banks interfaced with human strategic computers, analyzing thousands of years of conflict data. "Found something," announced senior archivist Tamol, her patterns displaying ancient battle records. These movement patterns match a strategy used in the Third Expansion War over 2,000 years ago. Multiple forces coordinated to overwhelm defensive networks through simultaneous strikes. Director Chen studied the historical data alongside current fleet movements. They're adapting ancient tactics to modern capabilities. Alert all stations and begin civilian evacuation protocols. The response machinery of the Human-Viril Alliance swung into action. Crystal-enhanced quantum computers processed tactical simulations at unprecedented speeds, while Viril memory keepers supplied historical context for every strategic decision. "They expect us to defend fixed positions," Commander Torres observed during the Emergency Council meeting. Their entire strategy relies on our forces being predictably deployed around population centers and archive facilities. Ambassador Kilura's patterns showed grim agreement. They believe they know our weaknesses. The Virils need to protect our archives, humanity's instinct to defend civilian populations. Then let's show them how strength and wisdom can combine, proposed Captain Chen, highlighting key points in the tactical display. The Viril sensor network doesn't just detect ships, it knows their histories, their typical tactics, their commanders' preferences. The planning room hummed with activity as human strategic experts worked alongside Viril historians. Each hostile fleet's historical battle records were analyzed, their commanders' psychological profiles studied, their ship's capabilities cataloged. We've confirmed their primary targets, reported Lieutenant Saga from the Horizon Seeker's ongoing patrol. They're focusing on our new joint installations, cultural centers, research facilities, and especially the hybrid defense platforms. They fear what we're becoming, Tilera observed, her patterns showing understanding. Not just our combined military capability, but our ability to preserve and share knowledge they'd rather keep hidden. The next 12 hours saw a flurry of activity across human Viril space. Ships moved in seemingly random patterns, defense platforms adjusted their positions, and sensor arrays pulsed with complex data streams that only the Allied forces could properly interpret. In the command center, Commander Torres reviewed the final preparations. All civilian populations secured. Archives and population centers evacuated to hardened shelters. Confirmed Terrell. Emergency preservation protocols active for all critical historical data. Director Chen stood at the main viewport, watching the distant stars where enemy fleets approached. The combined human Viril forces had prepared as thoroughly as possible, drawing on both humanity's tactical innovation and the Viril's perfect historical records. They think they're facing two weakened species supporting each other. She noted to Ambassador Tilera. They're about to encounter something entirely new. Tilera's patterns showed fierce determination. Let them come. We will add their defeat to our memories. The combined enemy fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, their weapons charged and targeting systems active. 4 distinct armadas, each representing a major power, prepared to demonstrate their superiority over the human Viril alliance. Admiral Kavex of the Karg Dominion smiled confidently as his tactical display showed minimal defensive activity. Their sensors must have failed, he commented to his bridge crew. Begin the primary assault pattern. His confidence lasted exactly 3 seconds. Suddenly, the seemingly empty space around his fleet erupted with activity. Hybrid patrol ships materialized from carefully masked positions, their crystal-enhanced stealth systems having rendered them completely invisible to standard scanners. Multiple targets emerging from. His sensor officer's voice faltered. Sir, they're everywhere. They predicted our exact emergence coordinates. In the command center, Commander Torres watched the battle unfold. Historical analysis suggested they'd use the third expansion war strategy. She noted to Terrell. Their tactical computers might be advanced, but they can't compete with living memory. The Viril sensor network, enhanced by human processing systems, tracked every enemy vessel with perfect precision. Each ship's movements were predicted before they occurred, based on thousands of years of recorded tactical patterns. Suveri fleet attempting to regroup, reported Lieutenant Saga from the Horizon Seeker. Her patterns displayed complex tactical data. Their formation matches recorded patterns from the Battle of Seventh Ring. Implementing countermeasures. Hybrid defense platforms, their crystal matrices humming with power, engaged with devastating accuracy. Their combined human Viril technology didn't just target enemy ships, it predicted their evasive maneuvers before they began. Mercantine forces attempting to breach the inner defense line. Terrell announced, his patterns showing tactical updates. They're using trade route data to find sensor gaps. Director Chen allowed herself a small smile. Deploy Operation Memory Wake. Across the battlefield, Viril archive ships activated specialized crystal arrays. The space around them lit up with centuries of recorded sensor data, creating a maze of false readings that confused enemy targeting systems. "This is impossible," Admiral Kvex growled as another attack run failed. "Their defensive coverage is absolute. How are they anticipating every move?" The answer came from his own tactical officer. "Sir, these patterns, they're from our own historical records. They're using our past against us." In the Viril Archive Center, historians worked alongside human tactical officers, providing real-time analysis of enemy tactics. Every maneuver was compared against thousands of years of recorded battles, allowing defenders to counter strategies before they fully developed. "The Nexus Collective is attempting to adapt," reported senior archivist Mole, her patterns showing urgent tactical data. "Their ships are forming new patterns we haven't recorded. Then let's give them something new to remember," Commander Torres ordered. The hybrid fleet moved with unprecedented coordination, combining human tactical flexibility with Viril predictive accuracy. The battle reached its climax as the enemy commanders realized their carefully planned assault had transformed into a desperate fight for survival. Their forces, unable to cope with defenses that seemed to know their every move, began to retreat. "They're breaking formation," Sura reported, her patterns showing satisfaction. "All 4 fleets are withdrawing to separate rally points." In the aftermath, Director Chen and Ambassador Hilara stood before the Galactic Council, presenting evidence of the unprovoked attack. The Viril's perfect records of the battle, combined with historical documentation of the aggressor's planning, left no room for denial. The Council recognizes the Viril Collective as full members, High Counselor Xerex announced, his tone carrying newfound respect. "Furthermore, we acknowledge their unique contribution to galactic civilization." Talera's patterns showed quiet pride as she addressed the chamber. "We sought not to become warriors, but to protect knowledge. Through partnership with humanity, we found a way to do both." The council session concluded with an unexpected proposal. Other marginalized species, inspired by the human Viril success, began seeking similar partnerships. The galaxy's power structure, long dominated by military might alone, started shifting toward a new balance. As the Horizon Seeker patrolled the now peaceful space around Lumeria, Captain Chen reflected on their journey. "We didn't just defend ourselves," he noted to Kazura. "We proved that true strength comes from combining different kinds of power." Service patterns showed agreement as they watched the sunset paint Lumeria's crystal cities in golden light. "Together, we remember the past and protect the future." The end.